So let me tell you the fastest way to tell if a business is actually healthy. It's not even profit and not growth. It's one number, and if you don't know it, you're not scaling, you're literally gambling. That number is customer acquisition cost, also known as CAC. And once you understand CAC payback, which channels and customers actually work, you stop guessing, you stop stressing on cash flow, and your growth, it becomes inevitable. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through the exact framework that I've personally used to build acquisition machines. The same principles I've used to scale everything from my boring home service business to a software company to my coaching program and even my roll-up company. Starting simple, and then I'm gonna get more advanced, and I'm gonna end with how to double down without lighting your money on fire. Now, let's start with the foundation, CAC. The number one thing you must understand to build an acquisition machine is CAC. CAC stands for Customer Acquisition Cost. It's your total marketing and sales spend divided by the number of customers you acquire. So if you spend $10,000 on ads, sales rep commissions, software agencies, all that stuff, and you acquire 10 customers, your CAC is literally $1,000. Now, if you don't know this number, you don't know if growth is good or if it's dangerous. And as a general rule, I found that healthy businesses usually land CAC around 10 to 20% of their total customer value. And yes, this varies by business model. Between software companies and home service companies, there's a wide variety there. But the principle is if you spend too little, you're leaving money and opportunity on the table. If you spend too much, you're inefficient and you're bleeding cash. Revenue without CAC clarity is just an expensive hype. Now that you understand CAC, let's take it a level even deeper, which brings me to section number 2, which is CAC payback. And this is where most businesses break. CAC alone doesn't matter. The time that it takes to pay back the customer acquisition cost matters. And that's called CAC payback. It's literally how long does it take to earn back what you spent to acquire a customer. In my restoration company, for example, it costs about $2,000 to land a job, and I get paid roughly 60 days later. That basically means that my CAC payback time is 60 days. In a software business, if it costs you $3,000 to acquire a customer that pays you $600 per month, it would take you 5 months to pay back that customer. If you can find a 30 to 60 day payback method to get a customer, it's a freaking growth machine. Why? Because you can literally float the growth on a credit card, recycling cash quickly, and literally scale the business without using the business's money. Let me repeat, if you're struggling to get customers, I don't care what stage of business you're at, if you can find that payback channel that can get money in your bank account from the customer in less than 60 days, you've got a customer acquisition machine. Here's why it matters. If you have a very fast payback channel, you can literally fund that growth with leverage. You can spend money on ads today on a credit card. Your credit card statement doesn't even close for 30 days from now. And then you have to pay it 30 days from then. So that's roughly 60 days of interest-free money that you have. Most of you guys watching this video today can get a $20,000 to $40,000 business credit card. That's $20,000 to $40,000 of free growth money just sitting there unused. Now look, this is not theory. Every one of my businesses was seeded this exact way. My 8-figure restoration company that now has 90 employees started with Thumbtack, Google Ads, and a chasing credit card. My software company that's now worth over $60 million started with Google Ads and a Capital One Spark card. Here's the warning though. If your CAC payback is 9 to 12 months, growth becomes a cash flow nightmare because it takes too long to recover the upfront investment. Fast payback gives you oxygen, slow payback suffocates growth. And that's why CAC payback matters. Now, let's dive in a layer deeper, which brings me to section 3, CAC payback by channel. This is where the clarity begins because not all CAC is created equal. Every customer acquisition channel, like referrals, Facebook marketing, Google Ads, word of mouth, organic content, has its own unique CAC and payback profile. So for example, Google Ads could have a 10% CAC paid back in 40 days, whereas organic marketing could have a 20% CAC paid back in 9 months. And if you lump those two channels together, you end up feeling like your business is broken and you're lying to yourself, thinking that your overall CAC is 15% and paid back in 6 months. But when you actually break it down by channel, the truth shows up. You realize you have one great channel, Google Ads, and one weak channel, organic marketing. And this is where most people still mess up. Which brings me to section number 4, double down. Once you know CAC by channel, the move is simple. You move your money, time, energy, effort from the bad channels, and you aggressively fund the good ones, one at a time. In restoration, for example, I don't start with everything at once. I follow a sequence. Nail one channel, stabilize it, then layer in the next. In my book, Restoration Millionaire, I call it the Restoration Millionaire method. I start with Google Ads first until I exhaust all efforts. Then I move on to one referral marketing strategy and then move on to the next and next. Google Ads is that industry's best CAC and also the easiest to implement. Most people fail not because channels don't work, but they fail because they try to do everything at once and they spread the money thin instead of creating dominance. And dominance comes from depth before diversification. Alex Hormozi even talks about in a lot of his videos, the one customer, one avatar, one channel ideology that he has. Now, let's take it a layer even deeper, which brings me to CAC by ideal customer profile. And this is the advanced mode here, so we're gonna hit that advanced button. The same channel can have widely different CAC depending on who you target. Your ideal customer profile, or the type of customer you should be selling to, changes everything. Picture this. 2 customers coming in from the same exact ad, the same exact copy, the same exact everything. One of them closes fast, pays you on time, there's low friction. The other one is price sensitive, beats you up, they're not loyal, they fight you on everything, they're a pain in the ass. Same channel, but completely different economics. And the best acquisition machines don't just optimize channels, they optimize channels multiplied by the customer type. And that's where scaling gets unfair once you understand this. At Albi, we learned this the hard way. We originally thought that our ICP was simply restoration contractors. But after spending a lot of money, time, energy, and effort, we realized that there was a massive difference even within that niche of restoration contractors. Forward-thinking, larger restoration companies closed faster, they valued speed, they actually got value from our product, and they justified our team's time. Whereas those small operators who didn't take their business seriously, they dragged cycles, they created friction, they badmouthed us, and they diluted our focus. So we simply decided to change the rules. We required smaller contractors to pay up front, so we had instant CAC payback, raising the bar and filtering the demand, and then we shifted the majority of our ad spend and marketing energy towards larger, more sophisticated restoration companies. Same channels, same product, but completely different customer acquisition economics. Let's land the plane now. If you know what your CAC is, how fast it takes for you to get paid back, which channels actually work, and which customers deserve your product and service, creating the best economics, growth stops being this emotional, unpredictable thing. It literally becomes default and it becomes predictable. And that is how you build an acquisition machine instead of a marketing experiment. If this was helpful, hit that subscribe button or comment any questions below. I'm dedicated to helping each and every one of you guys make 2026 your best customer acquisition year yet. I'll see you guys next week.